Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're exploring a fascinating stack of sources, mainly from a newspaper dated July 4th, 2025.
Yeah, quite a mix.
We've got two key pieces from the editorial section, and then we'll shift gears into two really interesting articles from the bonus section.
Sounds good.
Our mission for you today is basically to pull out the most important insights. We're covering everything from, threats to democracy to the future of quantum tech.
And even why some wealthy Indians are moving abroad.
Exactly. So let's just dive right in.
Okay. It's definitely a diverse set of topics, and those editorial pieces, they really bring up some profound challenges to democratic ideas that we need to look at closely.
Absolutely. Let's jump straight into that first one from the editorial section. Democracy's Echoes, Tyranny's Threat to India and America.
Right.
This piece really stresses a pretty serious warning. Democracy isn't, automatic. It doesn't just keep itself going.
No, it needs active defense.
It specifically mentions Judge J. Michael Luttig's 27 Truths and his message on, today in 2025, U.S. Independence Day. He warned that tyranny threatens from within.
From within, yeah. Not just from outside enemies. That's the crucial shift in perspective.
A chilling thought, really. So how does the article say this internal threat actually works?
Well, what's interesting is how it connects Luttig's warning straight to India's experience, specifically what it calls democratic backsliding during the 1975 emergency under Indira Gandhi.
The emergency. Right.
And the key point it makes is that this erosion of democracy, it didn't happen with tanks in the streets. It came through law.
Through law.
Exactly.
Right.
Civil liberties got suspended. The press was censored. Something like 100,000 people were imprisoned. It quotes historian Gyan Prakash, who said democratic institutions can die not with a bang, but with a nod.
Not with a bang, but with a nod. Wow, that suggests it was almost easy, effortless.
Kinda, yeah. The article points out the tragedy was how easily it happened. It suggests that the very institutions meant to protect democracy, judges, ministers, civil servants, even journalists, they chose loyalty over law.
Loyalty over law.
And it mentions the Supreme Court actually ruled that the right to life could be suspended. Only one judge, Justice H.R. Khanna, dissented.
Just one, and he paid a price for it, right?
Wow.
Passed over for Chief Justice.
He was. It shows the pressure. And, there were warnings. This wasn't totally out of the blue.
Oh, what kind of warnings?
Well, way back in 1949, H.V. Kamath, who was in India's Constituent Assembly, he basically saw this coming. He warned against putting emergency provisions in the Constitution.
Really? That early?
Yeah, he actually compared them to Germany's Weimar Constitution, which, Hitler famously used through its emergency powers. Kamath argued for much stronger checks and balances.
Hell, I didn't listen.
Well, the provisions went in, and sure enough, coming 6 years later, Indira Gandhi used Article 352, just like Kamath feared. Dissent basically became treason. Power became personal.
And wasn't there something about her son, Sanjay Gandhi?
Yes, he wasn't even elected, but ran this brutal parallel state. Forced sterilizations, demolishing slums, all technically legal under the emergency, but definitely not democratic.
And the article draws parallels to the U.S. today. It uses the phrase unmistakable.
It does. It observes that U.S. President Donald Trump, even without declaring an emergency, has been seen as trying to sort of own power, weaponizing the Justice Department, even talking about terminating parts of the Constitution.
So what's the role of institutions in the U.S. context, according to the article? Are they holding the line?
Well, it suggests a perceived failure, that institutions like Congress, the courts, the media, haven't been effective enough in stopping these moves to centralize power.
So the big lesson here?
The big lesson is potent. Constitutions alone aren't enough. They need people with courage to actively guard them. It really emphasizes that tyranny is familiar, legal, and welcomed when institutions go hollow.
When they go hollow.
Yeah. It's not just about fragility. It's about how the core can be eaten away quietly by the choices people make. A really sobering reminder about vigilance, not just on battlefields, but in offices and courtrooms.
A crucial point indeed. Okay, but the debate over India's identity, it doesn't end there. Let's look at the next editorial piece, Defending India's Secular and Socialist Soul.
Right. This one focuses on that recent Supreme Court decision.
Yeah, reaffirming secular and socialist in the Constitution's preamble, and the huge controversy around those words.
Exactly. These words were added, remember, by the 42nd Amendment in 1976, during the emergency, actually.
Ah, okay. That timing is significant.
It is. And the article explains they faced, quote, repeated political and legal attacks by right-wing forces ever since. It names names like RSS General Secretary Dattatreya Hosabale.
A key figure in Hindu nationalism.
Right. And Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar, they called adding the words sacrilege, arguing they were alien to Dr. Ambedkar's original vision for the Constitution.
Okay, so what is the historical context? Did the original framers actually oppose secularism? Is that narrative accurate?
Not according to this article. It says the Constituent Assembly was emphatically and unanimously behind a secular state. Nobody argued for theocracy.
Nobody.
Not a single member.
Yeah.
You had Mahatma Gandhi way back in 1931 saying the state should be neutral on religion. Dr. Ambedkar, the main architect, was explicit. The state shall not recognize any religion as state religion.
So pretty clear then.
Very clear.
Yeah.
And others too. Govind Ballapant, Jaspat Roy Kapoor, Begum Azaz Rasool, Sardar Patel, they all argued against theocracy for a secular base. They were worried, about what would happen to non-Hindus if India became a Hindu state. Those warnings feel pretty relevant today, the article notes.
And the socialist part, how did the Supreme Court handle that interpretation, especially given it was also added during the emergency?
Well, the court in this recent ruling interpreted socialist basically as meaning a welfare state.
Welfare state, okay.
And this actually lines up pretty well with Ambedkar's own focus on social and economic change.
Yeah.
Ending caste exploitation, poverty, discrimination.
So not necessarily importing some foreign ideology.
Exactly. The article stresses it's more about fulfilling the promises of the freedom struggle, equality, justice for everyone. Ambedkar himself warned that a Hindu Raj would be the greatest calamity for this country, which, again, really highlights why these debates are so critical right now. It's a fundamental battle for the country's direction.
Definitely a lot to think about there. Okay, let's pivot now from those deep constitutional debates to something almost sci-fi, but very real.
Quantum.
Yes. We're moving to the bonus section, Article 3, the year of quantum, from concept to reality in 2025. The UN even named 2025 the International Year of Quantum Science and Technology. Feels like a big deal.
It really is a pivotal moment. The report lays out the three main pillars of quantum technology: QT, quantum computing, quantum communication, and quantum sensing.
Computing, communication, sensing.
Got it. And these aren't just lab concepts anymore. They're projected to bring in, get this, up to $97 billion worldwide by 2035.
Wow, $97 billion.
With quantum computing being the biggest chunk, maybe $72 billion.
Yeah.
And by 2040, could be almost $200 billion total.
That's a massive growth. Which industries are set to benefit most?
The big ones mentioned are chemicals, life sciences, finance, and mobility. So yeah, this surge signals a real race for tech dominance, sure, but also to redefine security, speed up discovery.
Yeah.
It could reshape whole industries.
Incredible numbers. The report also talks about surging investment. What's the story there? Who's putting money in?
Well, in 2024, almost $2 billion went into QT startups globally. That's a 50% jump from the year before.
50%.
Yeah. Now, private VC money is still a majority, at $1.3 billion. But here's the interesting shift. Public funding jumped significantly. It's now 34% of the total, around $680 million.
So governments are stepping up in a big way.
Definitely shows strategic urgency. We saw big private deals like SoftBank with Quantinuum, Aramco with Pascual. But then publicly, Japan committed a massive $7.4 billion in early 2025. Australia put $620 million into Sequantum for a utility-scale quantum computer.
Huge commitment.
And we're seeing these innovation clusters pop up. Asia's becoming a major player too. 5 of the 19 new QT startups in 2024 were based there. It's a global strategic realignment.
Okay, so the money's pouring in. What about the actual tech? What are the key breakthroughs making this shift from R&D to deployment happen now?
That's the crucial part. Innovation in 2024 really focused on making QT more reliable, more secure, getting it out of the lab, basically.
Right.
We saw big improvements in error suppression, better qubits, Google's Willow chip. 105 physical qubits is a good example. It's not just the number, but it showed really good error correction. That's been a huge bottleneck.
Error correction, the key challenge.
Absolutely. And startups like Alice and Bob, Riverlane, they're making progress on new ways to handle errors, build better decoders. It's essential for scaling up. You can't really do useful quantum computing without solid error correction anymore. It's just not optional.
So this sounds like a global tech race, especially with this idea of Q-Day looming. What are the patent trends sharing us? And what exactly is Q-Day?
Oh yeah, companies are definitely staking their claims.
Yeah.
UT patents granted jumped 13% in 2024. IBM and Google lead overall.
In country-wise?
China's taken the lead in quantum computing patents. But the U.S. leads in quantum communication patents, largely because they're so focused on quantum security.
Which brings us to Q-Day.
Right. Q-Day is the hypothetical day when quantum computers become powerful enough to break our current encryption, like this stuff protecting bank accounts, government secrets, everything online.
That sounds bad.
It's a major cybersecurity threat. That's why things like post-quantum cryptography, PQC, and quantum communication itself are so vital. They're ways to secure data against future quantum attacks.
So quantum communication is about secure data transfer.
Exactly. And that market is expected to grow massively, maybe $10–15 billion by 2035. Right now, governments are the biggest buyers, about 57% of the market. They need that security.
Okay, we've covered computing and communication. What about that third pillar, quantum sensing? What's happening there?
Quantum sensing is also moving fast, from research to actual products. We're seeing some cool applications. NASA tested an ultra-cold quantum sensor in space.
In space?
Yeah. And closer to Earth, QCTRL is making quantum magnetometers for navigating where GPS doesn't work.
Yeah.
Sandbox AQ is developing a real-time quantum navigation system using AI.
So super precise measurements.
Orders of magnitude better than classical sensors.
Yeah.
Big impacts for defense, making computer chips, lots of critical areas.
It's amazing how all these quantum threads, computing, communication, sensing, are weaving together with other big technologies too, like AI, robotics.
Absolutely. There are huge synergies. AI can help design quantum hardware faster. Quantum computing could revolutionize AI training. Robotics can build quantum parts and benefit from quantum optimization and sensing.
And even climate tech.
For sure. Quantum can help discover new materials for batteries or carbon capture or model complex climate systems way better than we can now. It really feels like it could reshape, well, almost everything.
Truly transformative stuff. Okay, one final shift. Let's look at another global trend from the bonus section. Why are the rich leaving India? Where are they headed? This seems to tap into broader shifts in wealth and talent.
Yes, and the numbers in the article are quite revealing. It says 22% of super-rich Indians want to leave. Now, in 2024, the projection was 4,300 high-net-worth individuals, HNIs, leaving.
4,300, is that a lot?
Well, it's significant, but actually it's a big decrease from previous years. It was 7,500 back in 2022.
Oh, interesting. So fewer are leaving now.
Fewer than before, yeah. The article suggests this might point to some potential improvement in the factors that were driving them away. Maybe things are getting slightly better domestically for the wealthy there.
So what are the reasons now? Is it still just about lower taxes and business opportunities?
Those are still factors, sure. But the report cited from Henley and Partners shows priorities are shifting. Quality of life is huge now.
Quality of life meaning?
Things like better educational opportunities for their kids, access to top-tier healthcare, making it easier to run businesses. And interestingly, resilience to climate change is popping up as a factor too.
Climate change resilience, that's new.
It seems to be a growing concern for this group. Also, the report notes professionals are actually more likely to migrate than entrepreneurs now. Another little shift.
And where are they going? Which countries are pulling them in?
The United Arab Emirates, especially Dubai, is #1. Projected to attract 6,700 HNIs overall in 2024, not just from India.
Why the UAE?
Big draw is zero income tax, low VAT. Very business-friendly. But other popular spots are Australia, Singapore, the US, and Switzerland.
What do those offer?
Generally, political stability, great schools, high quality of life overall, ticks those newer priority boxes for wealthy migrants.
So how does India rank globally for losing millionaires? And should India be worried about this outflow?
Well, India is third globally for millionaire migration, meaning people leaving. China's first, with 15,200 leaving in 2024, then the UK with 9,500.
Third place. That sounds concerning.
But the report adds some important context. It says these outflows are not particularly concerning for India right now.
Why not?
Because India continues to produce far more new HNWIs than it loses to emigration. The pool of worthy individuals is still growing faster than it's shrinking due to people leaving.
Ah, okay, so it's losing some but gaining more.
Exactly. Plus, another positive sign mentioned is that many who leave still keep major business interests and second homes in India. They maintain strong ties. So it's a complex picture, really. Part of global trends, but with unique Indian factors at play.
Thank you for listening. If today's episode gave you something useful, consider following us on Spotify so you're the first to hear the next one. You can give suggestions by contacting on Twitter handle given in the episode description. We're always eager to hear what our listeners want to be informed about. We wish you a great day.